Thank you. Sound level okay? Excellent. As unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I'll try and make a very short habit of it this time round. It's interesting to be asked to talk about working in a bell jar or in a semi-vacuum, but nonetheless I'll attempt to do that. My involvement in Perth theatre generally has been unremarkable, to say the least, but I'll take a low profile where a Nobel Prize would suffice. But tonight I'd like to basically work on the idea that the unique nature, the rather special set of circumstances that creates the environment in which we work in this city is the form, the basis of what I hope to sort of jabber on about for a few minutes. So I asked myself, well, how could I encapsulate this feeling or this ambience working in this city, in this part of the continent, in this part of the world? And what kept coming back to me were just four major words, four terms. The first term that came to mind was stasis, S-T-A-S-I-S. Definition thereby of cessation, arrest, especially of growth, blood circulation, or of bleeding. A period of no change in evolution. Well, after 25 years, I think that's a pretty good case of, well, I'm sitting here bleeding, bowels aren't working, and there's no evolutionary change happening. Yes, I know it all sounds negative and somehow depressingly familiar, but for all of you millions of people out there who are listening, eager to know what's going on in this city, let me tell you that stasis is a very apt term for what's going on here. There's been no evolutionary change. There used to be a forest of happy laughing trees, theatre goers and theatre companies in the city when I was younger. But that was so long ago, and senility set in. I can't remember what it was really like, except that it used to be joyous. And the stasis was then overtaken by another term, term two, the Stasi. They're the internal security force of the former German Democratic Republic. However, they were abolished in 1989. Wow, 20 years later, I think the Stasi are working efficiently in this city. The Stasi, as we all know, in the life of others, had information on everybody, something on everyone. In the end, they had so much information, so much knowledge, so many forms and questionnaires about what's going on in theatre or in the body politic that in the end it made no sense because it was like a lump of concrete. What do you do with a lump of concrete if there's no form to it? Stasis. We have a lump of concrete. It's not changing. It's standing still. Unfortunately, that is exactly what's happened in Perth theatre scene. The Stasi, those that control what's left of that happy forest of punters, now reign supreme over maybe 3 professional companies. The rest of us, of course, are beholden, that is the performers and writers and producers are beholden to these few companies. No entrance, no show. So what happens to the rest of us? What happens in the meantime to all the other performers, writers and creators? I have 2 more terms. I would say that we deal with this concept, well, 2 concepts. One is, are we marginal? And marginal is defined as relating to a margin, minor, insubordinate or insignificant, not central or principal or mainstream, rarely or barely sufficient, and not very relevant. That's sort of like what you get to feel when you've written a play and you've had it on and it's gone. This is not New York. This is not London. This is not Paris. Why, it's not even a place like Zagreb, which is a town, city smaller than Perth, but yet Stasi don't seem to be operating there. So if you're not marginal, could it be that you're something else? And I suspect that it is a case of being peripheral. That is, of or relating to a periphery, not of primary importance, incidental, minor. I believe that is what has occurred to Perth theatre and creativity. We've become minor because this is a mining town. This is all about engineering. Engineering a good time, engineering the entertainment, engineering the structure and the form, but never analyse the substance, because we're not here to be challenged. We're not here to be tested or confronted. We are here because I have paid my good hard money to be entertained. And like any good mining town, we have FIFO, fly in, fly out. So we fly in an act, and we fly it out. You cough up your money, you get your returns. It's a cargo cult mentality. It is not possible, generally, for the majority of Perth creators or writers or directors or performers to actually have an input. Why? Because they can't fly in and fly out of here. Because there's nowhere to go. Because of the stasis and because of the Stasi. The Stasi do not recognise you, and the stasis keeps you set firmly in the concrete. Oh, but I'm running out of time. There's so much to talk about, there's so little time.